After months of holding out, Ukrainian troops took the initiative and mounted a local counterattack on the flank near Bakhmut. Ukraine had more success south of Bakhmut, where more villages such as Ivanivsky Southwest are located, than in the north, an open field where any movement is easily detected. Even though Bakhmut had fallen to the Russians in May, the Ukrainian army believed the town served its purpose, destroying a Russian offensive capability that could be used elsewhere. They say Russia is concentrating its troop and equipment deployments to Bakhmut, which may have helped Ukraine launch a counteroffensive in the country's southeast. But the price Ukraine has paid to keep Bakhmut for so long is astronomical. Ukraine has not officially reported its casualties in the battle for Bakhmut, but they are expected to be very high. The recorded video shows fighters from the 3rd Freedom Battalion of the Rubizh Rapid Response Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard from NU Rubizh, in order to repel enemy attacks on their positions, destroyed 5 tanks of the Russian occupiers. This was reported by the Telegram channel Donbas Operative, published the corresponding video, edited from the footage taken by the unmanned aerial vehicle, whose operators adjusted our defense and opened fire on the invaders' armored vehicles. It is indicated that the assault lasted the entire day and included 3 waves. Apart from the tank, the video shows other armored fighting vehicles being destroyed by the interventionists. 5 tanks was exactly half of a tank company, which consisted of 3 platoons of 3 tanks and 1 commander. Another video also shows guns of the 47th Separate Artillery Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroying 2 self-propelled artillery installations of the Russian invaders along with ammunition at firing positions in a forest path. Its operators found fat targets and adjusted artillery fire on them. We are only shown the result, a direct hit and the ensuing heavy fire and explosion of enemy equipment and shells. It can be assumed that our defenders use high-precision projectiles, for example, the American Excalibur or the German Smart, especially since the video shows shots of our fighters from several wheeled self-propelled guns before each attack. Heavy fighting continues in the eastern Donetsk region as Russian forces remain focused in the Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Mariinka regions, according to the latest update from the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. More than 30 skirmishes took place in those areas in the past day, the General Staff said on Wednesday, noting that Russia carried out several unsuccessful attacks in that direction. The Ukrainian General Staff and Oleksandr Tarnavsky, a joint force commander in the south of the country, said Russian troops were on the defensive in the Zaporizhia and Kherson directions, while the Ukrainian armed forces were advancing. The Ukrainian advance was seen far west of the Zaporizhia region, near Orikhiv. It was also grueling, with Ukrainian losses reported around Mala Tokmaka and now heavy fighting near Pyatakaki. Several pro-Russian bloggers say the village has been liberated. On the other hand, military counterintelligence fighters from the Security Service of Ukraine destroyed 21 Russian invaders' armored vehicles, 11 tanks, 2 self-propelled artillery installations, 5 armored fighting vehicles, and 3 cars. The press service of the Security Service of Ukraine announced this on its Facebook page this evening, publishing the relevant video edited from the footage taken by the unmanned aerial vehicle. The title of the video says that this is the result of less than a week's work. First, an impression of enemy technique is shown with kamikaze drones each carrying enough explosives to destroy or incapacitate a tank, and then accurately dropping anti-tank cumulative grenades from UAVs. Formally, by the way, this activity does not correspond to the classical ideas of counterintelligence. It is most likely a subversive and intelligence activity. But perhaps in the SBU, all frontline combat units belong to counterintelligence. Our special forces liberated Ukrainian soil side by side with comrades from the Ukrainian Armed Forces in a counteroffensive. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on 22 June that Russia had lost 222,650 soldiers in Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion, with an estimated 650 casualties as of 21 June. To keep Russian troops guessing, Ukraine's advantage is regularly touted around Bakhmut, a city of minimal strategic significance whose center the Russians captured at enormous cost last month. In the Berdyansk direction, south of Velika Novosilka, Donetsk region, the defense forces carried out an offensive operation last day, achieved partial success, and entrenched themselves on the occupied borders. In turn, the Telegram channel Operative Donbas believes that our yesterday's success on this front is even better. In the Staromliniv region of the Zaporizhia region during the day, the Ukrainian Armed Forces conducted several offensive operations towards the villages of Rivnopol, Staromayorsk, and Staromlinivka. About 40 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory went into the gray zone in one day. Meanwhile, the head of Wagner's mercenary group accuses Russia of deceiving them about the course of the Ukrainian offensive and pinpointing Kyiv's progress on the battlefield. Earlier this month, the Ukrainian military launched counteroffensives in the east and south of the country in a bid to recapture territory lost last year. Vladimir Putin has repeatedly said that Ukrainian offensives have failed. But Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, whose troops have for months been leading attacks on towns in eastern Ukraine, including Bakhmut, accused the defense ministry of not telling the truth and of losing territory to Ukrainian forces. They are misleading the Russian people, he said in an audio message released by his spokesman. A number of villages, including Piatikaki, were lost, said Prigozhin, pointing to a shortage of weapons and ammunition. Ukraine has reported moderate gains, retaking 8 settlements in the first cautious move of resisting Russia's entrenched position.